All right. Oh, we're live. Hi, I'm Melinda Jacobs.
Okay. I'm Karen Fagan.
And we are healers who like to swear a lot.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yes. So this is Karen's idea that she wanted to be, I don't know, Karen, why are we doing this?
Well, because we're really cool. And we have great conversations. And we did it once before, but then you moved to Arizona and I said we should be, I know, right? Although I think we've talked more since you moved. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Anyway, but we wanted to be intentional about our friendship and what we do. And here we are being intentional. Like there's a schedule and everything. And I'm allergic to schedules.
I made her put it on the calendar. So I think that what I remember is that when we do get together, when we do chat and we do kind of just talk about life and whatnot and what's happening in current events and what's happening for ourselves and for our clients, is that it just the amount of wisdom that just falls out of our face holes is pretty astonishing.
Because when we like, our styles are just like, between the two of us, we are the whole.
There you go.
And we complement each other so well.
Yeah. So we wanted to share that. So today, Karen's like, what do you want to talk about? And I'm like, well, I took a really scary drive today, and it wasn't just scary, like it was terrifying. And so I thought it would be good for us to chat about doing scary things.
So what was scary? What made it scary?
You know, I do hypnotherapy. I help people move through and past trauma. And sometimes our bodies get activated by things that just make no sense. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense to me, Karen. I say this as a certified clinical hypnotherapist, that when I'm driving at angles like this, my whole body goes into a terror that I am going to fall and die. Mm-hmm. And that when I see big, huge drop-offs, it's like I just feel my body falling and being pulled over the side of the cliff and into death and destruction. And some of the work that I do, cellular release therapy, we're asking the subconscious about things that we are not conscious of. But the memory is held here in our cellular memory. And so I was with a friend of mine, and she's just kind of laughing at me because, I mean, the level of terror and panic was just off the charts. And as we were finally getting close to being done with this drive, I said, I'd like to ask the subconscious now about experiences of falling off and plummeting to your death. Has there been more than one?
Finger?
I know, like more than 10. It's like, oh my gosh, yes, so much. But beyond that, I think that doing something that scares us, like there's this sweet spot. Like, to me, I'm really glad I did it. She offered to drive on the way back, and I'm like, no, I'm going to do it again.
Good.
And so I did it again, even though it felt like it blew out my nervous system, even though, and I've done some meditation, and I did a Dr. Joe Dispenza coherence healing. So I got to go heal children today. And
Alexa, dismiss. Unless we all want to hear the weather for Strasburg, Colorado tomorrow.
So I did a number of things to kind of help myself get back to center, and I do feel much better. But I'm just curious about your thoughts about talking to clients who want to do scary things, but maybe don't because the paralysis is too much, the stress is too much. Like, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I have so many thoughts. The first one really is neurologically, right? Our brains, the reacting brain, your limbic system, does not differentiate well between what you imagine and what you actually experience. One of my favorite quotes is,
on the road, falling off the cliff.
Mark Twain said, I've experienced many terrible things in my life. Some of them have actually happened. So your reacting brain, Melinda, your limbic system believes you fell off that cliff about 800 times today.
Multiple times, yes.
So the challenging piece, and I think this is the important piece. I mean, you and I both do a lot of trauma work, which brings a lot of different pieces in there. I mean, we have sat through being empathetic with the worst of the worst of the worst that anybody has ever been through. It's really tough to not be traumatized vicariously. I don't know about you, but I know I've had experience where clients have told me things and then I've had nightmares about them later. So we have to be
not
careful.
So much lately, but it used to be a significant thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big one and it was a while ago, but it happens. We have to know how to handle that energy. So neurologically, that's the piece. But what's important is going through that experience sort of with your eye on the end. And it's what I call putting a period on the end of the sentence. And so when you did it, like take those pieces of your brain that fell off the cliff 800 times and remind yourself, it didn't really happen. It turned out okay. And so that allows that healing piece for your brain to connect the dots and go, oh, like I can do this. And so the next time you do it, your brain will have those dots connected.
Yeah, it's, and I think the piece that I do with people around that cellular memory, I've seen so many people, like I have a client recently who just couldn't wear anything around her neck, like chokers, collars, necklaces, because she said, I feel like someone's choking me and killing me, like I'm dying. And her whole body would go into that reactive state. And we did some clearing work around it. And now she can wear collars and she can wear necklaces because whatever the cellular memory of this was, it was still in the cellular memory. And so, that's where you and I have the whole conversation. Like you have the brain piece, I have the hypnotherapy piece to do the clearing work. Like it's really important. And I remember you helped me years ago when I had a certain stalkery situation where I was really scared that someone was going to come get me and I was getting all crazy in my own house.
Yeah, he killed you like 800 times.
So many times. And I remember telling you, I'll never forget this moment. I told you we were doing EMDR, so I had the little buzzers in my hand. And I was telling the story and I'm like, and I see him at my back door. And then you said, and then what happens? And it's like my brain never went past, oh my God. And we went through scenarios of like, well, I mean, I think one or two of them I died, but one of them I beat him up and another one I got out the front door and another one is, there were so many other scenarios that my brain hadn't processed because I was getting frozen into that moment. That was such a profound thing. And then what happened? Because if we just leave ourselves in that infinite unknown and the infinite possibility set, it does lock down the system, like a whole.
Your brain takes a snapshot of the worst moment and then loops through it.
And looped.
Super cool. Good job. Good job, brain. Bessel van der Kolk. Have you read Bessel van der Kolk's book? It's called The Body Keeps the Score.
Oh, yes, I have actually. Some of it. Not all of it. Some of it.
It's really good. It's a tough read. It's a deep, heavy read, but he talks a lot about that cellular connection and how your cells, your whole body stores the trauma that you've been through, which is why the work that you do with your hypnotherapy and cellular release, which I once said, I should learn to do that. And then I said, no, I shouldn't, because then I can't go to Melinda for it. I don't need to understand that. I don't want to understand it. And I was thinking about, finish one thought first, ADD Karen. Bessel van der Kolk, Body Keeps the Score, past life trauma stays in your cells too.
Yes, so, and it's also doesn't have to be past life because not everybody believes in that. I'm still on the fence about it and I'm certified in it, but it could be generational. Like it doesn't have to be our own memory. It could be a familial thing.
It can be from somewhere else. Like it can be a vicarious trauma. It can be, all kinds of stuff. I was trying to remember one of our cellular release sessions. Something came up from my life, but I don't remember.
Probably because we cleared it.
Thanks.
Right. But there is.
Why don't you keep notes about this stuff?
And I love, that's what I love about the work I do, is because we can ask the subconscious, to go to the very first time for me, that I was afraid I would fall off a cliff or something like that, whatever that was from that terror today. And the subconscious will go back to the very first experience. And then we can ask the subconscious, did this happen prior to your birth? And if there's a yes, did it happen before your conception? And if there's a yes, we know we're either in generational trauma or we're in past life. And it just depends on, what your belief systems are.
That's such a parallel. I mean, that's exactly how EMDR works. You just go and ask the feeling, where's the root of this? And it's like, I call it like roto-rooter. Your brain just wants to clear those pipes out so badly.
Right.
It's just awesome.
We could just talk and talk and talk, because I know that you and I almost start salivating when we talk.
The work we do is so
excited about it.
It's like healer crack.
It's like, oh my God, people are healing.
Big traumas. I got you.
I think that's an important point, is to remember that the body is always striving for its highest level of balance, of homeostasis, of wholeness. And that when we are not willing to move through and pass something or face it, kind of like my drive today, if I didn't drive back, there would have been more hesitancy, because I'm sure you're going to come to visit me, and I'm sure I'm going to want to take you up to Jerome, Arizona, on that horrible road, because the town is so freaking cool. Mm-hmm. But if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't faced that fear again, it would have been harder the next time. I think it would have been more traumatic the next time. But now, like you said, I'm building a body of consciousness that says I can do scary things, I can do hard things and still survive.
And you allowed your brain to put it in perspective.
Yeah.
Right? Like, starting that road doesn't equal death. That part of your brain is pretty black and white. So it doesn't, like, it's your cerebral cortex that's got all the gray, but your reacting brain is like, that road equals death. And you gave it an opportunity to rehearse. No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Right.
Brilliant.
Yum. What's one thing you encourage your clients to do when they're considering doing scary things?
Don't imagine the end, or don't imagine like the worst case scenario. I have them do an exercise that I talk about with a pie chart, and have them like draw out the slice of pie representative of how likely that worst case scenario is. And it's usually like, 1%, 5%, whatever. You can't say it's not going to happen, because bad things happen in the world. So if you ignore that possibility, your brain's like, yeah, you're full of shit. But if you give it a nod and say, okay, yeah, it's possible that I will fall off this road, but it's not very likely. Then the deal I make with them is you have to spend the comparable amount of time on the end case scenarios. So like, you have to spend most of your time imagining the scenario that is probably going to be fine. You're going to get from, Cottonwood to Jerome, Arizona, and be just fine.
Right. What I do with my clients is I have them get into the feeling state of having completed whatever they're doing. Mm-hmm. So if they were going to ask for a raise, or if they're going to break up with someone, to get into the feeling state of the relief, I did it, I survived it, like, you're beyond it, and to see it from that side. Because like you said, our brains don't know the difference. And so if we're imagining and practicing being at the other side of the scary thing, then it creates that neural pathway that says, yeah, we can do this successfully.
It's rehearsal, right? I mean,
and I'm pretty sure this is what Olympian athletes do.
Exactly. They don't practice falling down on the triple axel. They rehearse internally, they rehearse a perfect triple axel.
our brains are so amazing, and that ability to see yourself successfully accomplishing something that feels really scary, like I really feel like that's the key, is to, and as you know, once we got there and I did some shaking, because I was really shaking when I got out of the car, you know, I don't know that my friend knew this, but I was seeing myself getting down at the bottom of the road and getting home and feeling relieved and glad I did it for probably 2 hours before I got back in the car and actually did the drive. And it wasn't as scary.
Yeah, every time I take my giant horse trailer over Vale Pass, I have to, it's terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But then when I do it, I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad at all. Because I imagine like, and so I have to remember reality and rehearse reality.
I also have to tell myself, well, nobody else is falling off the cliff. Like nobody else's car
millions of dollars to make sure you don't fall off the cliff. Yes, I do that one too.
If they're not falling, I'm not falling.
It's giving your brain what's the word I'm looking for? Backup, which is still not the word I'm looking for the outcome that's most likely. Reasons to believe the outcome that's most likely.
Yeah, I call it building a body of consciousness. We're building a body of experience.
Stuff.
Huh?
That's really much more elegant than what I said.
Well, Karen Fagan, if you want to get in touch with Karen, she's amazing. If you need EMDR, woof, she's super, super, super good.
In the state of Colorado. I'm licensed in Colorado.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you need some cellular release therapy, want to do some metaphysics, want to do some energy stuff, that's me. I know, we're both really, really good. Karen, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I love this.
Wouldn't miss it. I love it too. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I adore you.
Love you so much.
Take good care.
You too. Bye. Bye, everybody.